Hey guys, Chad Close here with Close Blender. Today we're doing part 2 of our how to make a video game series on Unity 3D. It's a pretty basic game. It's just jumping over objects. Nothing too fancy, and we're just doing placeholders for now. So let's jump right in. Where we left off is we had a game where we could jump over blocks. As you can see, it is laggy because my computer is stupid and slow and who knows, but that's that. So obviously we're falling off a cliff. We don't want that. We want this to continue on forever. So we're gonna make a script that makes these cubes for us. We're gonna just wing this. I don't know exactly how I'm gonna do it, but we're going to do it. So first we need a prefab. So first we're going to call these things, I don't know, we'll just call them boxes, because that's what they are. So we got boxes, and then we're just going to drag this into the projects, and it automatically makes our prefab. What this means is we can make unlimited boxes as we want by just dragging these in, and every single one is the exact same. Pretty cool. So now, what we're going to do is, now that we have this box up here, we are going to do this. Since the floor, when you're playing, it doesn't look like the floor is moving. That's because it's not really. So we're just going to attach the floor to the player by just dragging it in, so now it is a children. And as you can see, I'm going to move the floor over so it doesn't look like it's actually not moving. If we play it, it looks the exact same. It looks like we're not moving. But I've noticed that our player is falling, which isn't good. So we're not going to do that. We're going to make the floor prefab too. What do we know? Alrighty. We're going to zero this out. Zero this puppy out. And yeah. Floor prefabbing. Alright, so now we're going to have a player, and in this player we already have a script called player control script, so we're going to go ahead and edit this script, open it up. We're going to make a pretty simple function that's called instantiate, or it's not a function, it's a call variable. So let's go in here and type, we're going to go ahead and type bar level equals instantiate, and we're gonna call our prefab. We'll make our floors first. So floor prefab vector 3 0, 0. Oops, that's not 0, 0. And then we're gonna make it a variable called floor placement. And then after this, we're going to hit comma and do transform dot rotation. Unity has a very good script reference, I should note, on the Unity website. Or just go to Google, type in Unity script reference, brings you right to it. So here we go. So now we're going to need to make our variables that we just created, or declare them. So floor prefab colon transform with capital T. Floor placement, whoops, forgot the var floor placement equals, and it's going to start out at 50, I believe. We might have to change this, but we're going to instantiate a floor every time our player gets halfway through the last floor. So how we're going to do this is, if you go in here and you hit the player and you look at the position, when he gets to 0, that's half. So we're going to want to make another floor, and we're going to make the floor right, oops. So pretty much what we're going to be doing is we're going to duplicate the floor and move it to right here, which is the 50 mark. So that is what we're doing basically. So bring back the floor. Alright, here we go. So if transform.position.z is greater than or equal to floor placement, floor placement minus 50. Yeah, minus 50. I hope this works. Alright, minus 50. We are going to instantiate a new level at floor placement, and then we're going to add floor placement plus equals 50. So we're going to make the floor go up another 50 paces. So let's save this, go ahead and play it. And did I spell something wrong? I might have spelled something wrong. Instantiate is supposed to be capital, I believe. This is what the console stands for. Alright, there we go. Got it. So now I hit the play button. So as we can see, here's the floor. As he gets to the mid level, it's saying that we don't have a floor prefab, which is completely correct. So we'll go to the player, and we're just going to drag this floor prefab that we have up here into the correct spot. Play this again, and as you can see, he's making halfway. He's going to instantiate another floor, and as he's going, he's going to get almost to the halfway mark again, instantiate another floor. So now we have this continuous floor being made, and the player will never be able to tell. Pretty cool. So now what we need, though, is we need random cubes to form. And how we are going to do this is we're going to have a variable that controls where every single one is going to be, and this is going to be just box placement, and we're going to make it start at 50. And what we're going to do, actually not 50, we'll do 20. So down here in our update, I'll show you another scripting tool. Actually, no, not that. We're going to do if transform.position.z is less than box placement, throw 50 plus 50 in here, so it's going to buffer 50 units long of boxes being placed. So if it's less than box placement, we're going to call a function, and this function is going to be called createBox. Just like that. And it's going to create a box every time it needs to, every time the buffer is gone. So down here at the bottom, we'll just hit enter a couple times, and we're going to make a function and create box. And now we're going to just copy our variable for a level creator, so we don't have to write it all again. And this variable is going to be called boxes. Instantiate, and it's going to instantiate at box placement, and everything else can be good except for the y value. We want 1. I think it's 1 or 0.5. We'll just go off with 1. But our box placement, we need the box placement to change every single time. So we're going to do box placement plus equals a random number. So to do a random value or a number, we're going to do random dot value, and that's going to create a random number between 0 and 1. Note, when we declare these things, they are integers. Like this variable can only be whole numbers, but if we add a 0.0, it can be any number up to the 10th. So what we're going to need to do, floor placement is fine, whole numbers is perfectly good. box placement though is not good. We need to change that to 0.0. So this way we can change very small numbers and very variable. Alright, so we're going to add a random number, but obviously we're not going to want to add it and have a box every 0.1 spots. So what we need to do is we need to time this number by, say, 10. I don't know if that's going to be too big or too small, but you could use a number, you could put a value here, a variable, and you could have it get smaller and smaller and smaller as you go on, so it creates it harder. So you have to jump over these boxes, and that way it makes it harder to jump over them, because if we're going to make this game so if you hit the box, you die. So it's going to be kind of like Impossible Game on the iPod, if you ever played that game. I'm not trying to copy it, I'm not going to sell this game or anything, so it's purely okay. So there we go. But this comes up with another problem. Say a box gets made, and then this random value is so small, and it does it several times in a row that it's literally impossible to jump over the boxes. Well, we can add a buffer. So say when we jump the boxes, we need a landing spot of at least 3. So we throw a 3+ in here. That way we always know that we're going to have landing room and jumping room for a box. So it could be really fast, or you're going to have to time it really well, but it'll have this spacer in there and it's going to help out quite a bit. So now we have that. Creates a box, and I think this should work pretty good. Let's change this to box prefab, and we're gonna have to go up here, bar box prefab, transform, and let's go ahead and test this out. Our console is saying we did a good job, so throw our box. Oop, that is floor. This lag is killing me. There we go. Okay. So let's go ahead and save the scene. And let's go ahead and run this. So, is it making boxes? It would seem that it is not. Seems that our coding is not working, which is a bummer, I'd have to say. So we're gonna have to debug this a little bit. Let's see here. Okay, found the problem. This needs to be greater too. I think this will work. Alright, so we can see it's making boxes. So we have that 50+ buffer, so we're going to be coming up to it pretty soon, and here we go. And my game is so incredibly laggy that this is really ugly, I'd have to say. It seems that my jump value went down because I added that 0.0 onto it. So here we go. I wish it wasn't lagging so much for you guys. If it continues lagging, I have an idea how to fix it. Alright, this is stop. Hold on, I'm gonna pause. Okay, I got rid of my dual monitor, so hopefully this works out a little better. So there we go. My graphics card was just wasn't a lot of pain. So here comes the boxes, and I'm just jumping over them. And for some reason, our jump didn't work. As you can see, I know why. Okay, so you know how when we call our hitting right here, it needs to say floor? Well, when we instantiate those floor, the floor doesn't like work out so well. The floor isn't called floor anymore, it's called floor clone. So what we're gonna have to do here is game object, delete game object, and we're gonna do var floor, and we already have it. So do game object and then do floor prefab. See how this works. Got no errors. So it's saying it likes it. So far, not good because it's not letting me jump. So obviously we're not hitting. So let's just do some debugging here. So let's go in debug.log, and we're gonna throw in the collision.gameObject. Oops. Do transform in here too. No, we don't want transform in there. See how this works. If this doesn't work, I have an idea. Yep, okay. We're gonna undo all of this. Go to floor, alright? And down here, when we instantiate our new floors, we're gonna do level.gameObject.name equals floor. So that way every single floor is going to be called floor and not floor clone. So let's see how this works out. I've never done this code yet. And it seems like it's working, because we are on our second floor now and I can still jump. So as you can see that our arc when we jump is it's kind of wide. I kind of want it more straight up and down. I don't know about you guys. So what we're going to do is go into edit, project settings, physics, and this gravity we'll just do negative, say 15. And that way we get the sharper arcs. You go up and down faster, so it's a little more responsive. So there we go. Now when you get those a bunch in a row, it seems like it's kind of unfair to the player. So let's go ahead and add double jumping, which will add a kind of a new aspect to the game. So let's just go up here and do var double jumping, double jump equals false. Start off with false. Down here on jump, if hitting, do double jump equals true. And then above hitting, do if double jump, I want you to jump. And then also do make double jump equals false. So here we go. So now when we jump, if I spell true right, this would work out. Alright, so now we can do some double jumping. So let's have these boxes come up. There are other ways. Oh, I suck at this game. So we don't have a endgame script yet. Now there's multiple ways to do it. Right now we have a random box generating. I'm gonna have to change some of the variables. I think they're showing up too close, especially for the beginning of the levels. And I died. So we're gonna have to change that. So let's just go in here, throw in some different numbers. I want them to be a little farther apart, and let's throw this buffer up a little more. And then also let's make so you can lose the game. We're going to do the same thing that we did up here with the level. We're going to go just copy this code because there's no need to rewrite it all. Name it boxes is the variable up here. And we're going to name it box. So up here, if we collide with a game object that's called, with a game object called box, we want it to end the game. And to end the game is kind of drastic. So either you could destroy the game object and then bring up like an end menu, but we're not going to make an end menu or anything like that. We're just going to restart the game. So by doing this, we can just do application.load level 0. I hope I wrote that right. We'll find out very quickly. and look at our console, and we're good. We're safe. So let's go ahead and save the scene. Go here to build settings, and then up here, scenes and build, just add current, and then it has a 0 marker saying that is the 0 frame or scene. As you add more, next one would be 1, next one would be 2, and so on. So now when we hit a box, it's going to kill us. Or it's not going to kill us, it's just going to restart the game, just like that. And also, I'm going to change... We need to make boxes more right away. I don't like the length of time it's taking. So if we change box placement, what will that do? Box placement. Just change that. In player, we can just change this, hopefully, down to 10. Hopefully more boxes show up quickly. Didn't really seem to work out. Oh well. Maybe it did, and we're just bad. But let's just play this game through. So this is pretty much creating a basic game in Unity 3D. You could add a main menu and such and forth, and use some GUI. There you can look up in the script references, or I'll probably do some tutorials soon, so just hit the subscribe and like button. This is how to make a basic game on a computer using Unity 3D. I'm Chad Close. Have a nice day.